Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all. Meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again.
I am not muted. It would appear that I am on. Fantastic. Good morning, all. Good morning. Welcome to the greatest morning you will find. Welcome to the coolest intro ever to be played on a Monday morning show. It's a great intro. I know the guy that did it. It's good stuff. Welcome to the show. I'd like to wish everyone a celebratory Happy Moth Day. The first Prometheus was the moth. The first Prometheus was the moth. And the moth was willing to consume itself in the fires of that truth, ladies and gentlemen. Have you considered this? Have you considered that when a moth flaps its wings in Scotland, that the new moon fire will be heard around the world? Have you seen this truth? Have you? Have you been in touch with this emotion? Happy birthday, Moth. I'm really glad you were born. And so many of us are. And there have been many awesome birthdays that have been happening around this time. And I'm pretty sure that we've probably forgotten some. and things like that. I know that there's even more people that are in this chat right now that have also. And so anyway, even birthdays are vitriol with a cake, right? Like really, even birthdays have their own kind of cool vitriol. It's this whole place is just teeming with vitriol. Tease, nah, Moth is just a firefly who went too far. How dare you, Tease? How dare you? How dare you? No, the Moth led the way. The Moth showed the firefly that light can only be found within. If it was not for the Moth, the firefly would never learn. And you can't light a cigarette off a firefly's belly, can you? It requires that full immersion into the holy smokes, right? Right? There, see, Jason's is on the 12th of May. We had an interesting theory come up on High Magic Saturday that the reason why things are so tricky around this time is because a lot of people have birthdays, and all of us are eating birthday cake, and the sugar is attacking us. But apparently sugar's a good thing now, so all jokes aside, really great talk Saturday. In fact, I could be misreading this, but Debbie had written me after the show, and had mentioned with exaltation Amanda Vollmer, and since then it has been haunting my mind that people might interpret. I don't even know if Debbie interpreted this, but people might interpret our show Saturday as me not having like the utmost of respect for Amanda Vollmer. Guys, Amanda Vollmer was precisely the first and the most right about everything when it came to the jibber jabber, all across the board. Just not only did she split the arrow, but she did that trick where you like shoot the arrow with your toes as you like bend over backwards, and when there's any kind of medical question at all, that is my primary source. That is a living Wikipedia with she's also got that ginger thing in her, so she's got some truth local. She is a Yaqui Indian, and you will meet her on the road. And anyway, good, Debbie, that's good, because someone else also asked the same thing, and so that's probably why that's echoing, is more from that. But not that my opinion really should carry that much weight, but Nate, that's hilarious. But and I think that's important too. That's part of the torque of this belief. The torque of our belief is going to be your ability to lay into the gearing and make things go. And I think I wish that we were spending more time learning the perfection camp when it comes to belief technology. I think that should be pushed more, honestly, like a lot more. Your ability to jack into your own ceremonies is precisely the same technology that will heal or break you. And when we suffer from trauma, no matter how little, if we have a prana economy to want to be broken, do you understand how profitable that can be at the time? I'm not saying that that's what's happening across the board. I'm saying that until we learn to really get in touch with our keel, we don't really actually know what medicine works best for us, because we don't even know what our true intentions are. Every time you're breathing life and oxygen into your chamber of your heart, you're charging will. You're charging belief with that. At no point in time should you be trusting a doctor At every point in time, you should be trusting the torque of your belief and what kind of sacrifice in your mind, in your system, not even deeper than your mind, in your system would be required. I'm not muted, am I? Okay. Would be required to elicit the medicine. What kind of adrenaline needs to flow through the arms of a mother as she picks up a Buick to rescue the child underneath? What kind of adrenaline would need to flow through a soldier as he rescues his brethren after an IUD? 2 cops. One bad house. Right? Ambulance drivers arriving on the scene, making triage decisions in a metropolitan intersection. What is the technology of belief? What technology enables the most amount of people to instigate and pull from the most amount of healing from a ceremony, whether that be a little yellow pill, whether that be a big fat blue pill, whether that be a syringe, whether that be to urinate in your own mouth, which is still hilarious to me. I'm telling you that the invention of the fetish has always worked as a magic, and that you could warp your very cells into the shape of a sickle to save yourself from the perils of a mosquito, and all those things would be happening because of your belief. But we don't like to think that all of us are walking around with loaded weapons. We don't like to think that there's a world where all of us are armed with the most powerful weapon of them all. That each of us is a snake charmer. Each of us. And that the system that takes you down the chute or the system that climbs you up the ladder, at any fracture in your normalcy, whether it be falling off a porch, whether it be having a car accident, whether it be taking ayahuasca, whether it be having a bad trip on something, you're instigating an opportunity for a quantum change, for an orbital shift brought about by a change in pressure. And you have a prana agreement where you seek these things. You seek a state. You seek a state that is comfortable for you. And part of comfort is the avoidance of mundanity. So even risk is built into your comfort equation. And the amount of confidence, the amount that you're able to predict what's happening is directly proportional to the amount of torque you're going to get from your belief. It's true. The amount of successful simulations that you have is directly proportional to the amount of torque that you will pull from your belief. You love a good song because it's predictable. Boom, do-do-do, do-do-do, boom. You feel confident because you know. You know what's coming, and it becomes this confidence boost as you immerse yourself in Back in Black. You pull these things. That's why music is medicine. And that's why when someone tells you something, you elicit medicine from their lips. You elicit poison from their lips too. What is Fauci but an excitor, elicitor, elicit, ex-elicit, is an ex-licitor, isn't he? He's the stainless steel guillotine in the town square. On the general, across the board, what kind of medicine works the best? Because for the longest time, it was leeches. For the longest time, it was mercury paste. For the longest time, and still today, it's scraping plow rows, corn rows, in our arms and smearing an advanced form of cow pus into the wounds. Fasting is a medicine. Travel is a medicine. Divorce is a medicine. Marriage is a medicine. Having a child is a medicine. Finding new music when you thought you'd heard it all is a new medicine. Standing up for yourself, not standing up for yourself. Every one of these things is medicine. That's right, Mo. King James told us, you can't do that. You can't be wandering around the forest thinking that medicine comes from your lips. Are you insane? We will burn you for that. There is a fervor in the woods where people do not want to be in charge of their medicine. Are you kidding me? Who wants to live in a forest where everyone's in charge of their own medicine? That was not just a style in the 15th century, or 16th century, excuse me. That was not just a fad. That's still happening today. The exact same thing that happened then is happening today. And we can't even blame it on King James. King James was the first person that was simply boastful enough to write it down. This is what the people wanted. It's what the people still want. Your job is to find shaman in the woods who are so fucking weird that they dilate you and open up new scaffolding inside your own belief, where you start to see, I didn't know that was possible. There's this really short woman right now with the whitest of hair wandering through the streets of Greece, and I was engaged to be married to her once, and it was in the city of Chattanooga, and that woman was the weirdest chick I'd ever met. She was just way into sidereal astrology is what I remember. It's like, what the fuck is sidereal? What is she talking about? She was way into Celtic mysticism. And at first I thought it was fashion, and then she told me this story that was so true about her reaching into this pyramid in the forest with all these other people around. She was able to reach into this pyramid in the sky and pull this lump of invisible coal from this pyramid and hurl it into the woods, and that everyone around her heard the sound of this hurled, thunderous, dark bolt of energy as it was tossed against the background of the canopy. And it moved everyone. It moved me, and I wasn't even there. It dilated and opened up my sense of what was possible, was what it did. It was a medicine for me, and it came from her underarm pits. She smelled like the truth at the time, and so it dilated me enough to stretch open this aperture and see the world in a different way. These experiments, when you're young, require what you think is trust. And that's misplaced. It's misplaced confidence. And that you've been bred like veal in the mind to tell yourself that trust is a good thing, and that all of us would just trust each other, everything would be fine. And that's why we need laws, because none of us can trust each other. But if all of us trusted each other to create laws that would enforce those that are not trusting each other, then all of us could go back to trusting each other again, which is what we all should be doing anyway, which is why if we trust each other, all we need is laws, because we can't trust each other. It's this endless cycle of that'll fix it, that'll fix it, that'll fix it, when it wasn't actually broken. What's broken is trust. The medicine is in you. And how do you get that medicine into you? But extending your confidence to someone else. You were reaching your confidence as these feelers, and you're touching the feelers of someone else, and it's dilating you. It's making you think, maybe this thing is possible. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. When something as simple as fasting is as powerful as I know that it is, you better believe that that would be true for just about anything. The Hajj, the pilgrimage, the journey to El Dorado, right? The journey to Mecca, the trip to Vegas, these are pilgrimages, and they all have a technology of belief. They give you torque. I'm going to go to the rainforest, and I'm going to throw up like I've never thrown up before. It is my pilgrimage. And the Hajj is ayahuasca. We have Vegas. You will go to your vagus nerve. That is the pilgrimage to Las Vegas, which is why it's so popular. It's a popular pilgrimage. And it's the candy-coated farm, and it's a journey indeed. And what happens there stays there. Because we do not want to live with our Vegas. We simply want to visit it on a pilgrimage. The truth is always there. It's always dismissed in coincidence. It's always. So, what makes a charlatan but your trust of them? Devil Bill Rockefeller did well making shit up and saying, hey, this works. Why did he do well? Why did he? I think it was for two factors. Number one, someone was sick and they wanted to feel better. Number two, someone was sick, they wanted to feel better, but they could not handle being in charge of their own medicine. They couldn't handle that kind of power. And I need you to please remember all those live streams on the astrotheology of Jesus. When we spoke about the technology of mutilation, that for the longest time, man's greatest quest was, I just want to stop feeling bad. I just want to stop feeling bad. And it's written into every single religious text, every single historical text, every single bit of poetry. Comes down to this quest for salvation because people just feel like shit all the time. And you could blame that on culture, you could blame that on all kinds of things, but I would say to you that quest is built into the very seed of life. That without that quest for salvation, without that, will someone please resurrect me? Will someone please save me? Will someone please forgive me? That is the very root of growth. That fractal is directly proportional and built into your torque and your belief, your technology of belief in yourself. In yourself. And it's a nautilus, isn't it? Because it's spinning before anyone can even see it. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it houses a crab. I'm a mean old crab living in the nautilus of your ego. Okay. It has all kinds of interesting tricks like this. But the expression of that desire is built in hard And you can't say, well, that's Kai Ultra. It's not going to work, man. That is built into the greenhouse of your seed, your quest for growth. If you didn't have that, the seed wouldn't sprout. Do you realize how scary that is? To carve through that husk that gave you this home for possibly thousands of years in the shittiest conditions, that you were fine inside that husk, and all of a sudden one day you were like, God, I feel awful. I feel like shit. I just need someone to forgive me. That is exactly what it would take to break through this husk of trust, of this nurturing, of this Mona Lisa, this holy goddess of the one that gives us this milk of forgiveness. The absence of that is the spark of life itself. And all of these technologies that we climb on top of are the very instruments of us creating our own wings. Icarus is an illusion. Icarus is what people who are afraid to fly tell each other while they're hanging out around a burning oil drum, warming their hands on the fire of it's impossible, or no one should do it, or Merde Moth was wrong for diving into the flame. That why would anyone die that way? That's a horrible way to die. You should suffer with dementia and Alzheimer's like the rest of us. You can't be diving into flames. What are you, freaking nuts? You cray-cray? All of this is about your posture with who you believe, which should always be yourself. Always. And until you learn to build your wings, you're going to have to learn to fly by watching others. You just are. And the first time you see it done, you are changed forever. You're like, holy shit, I didn't know that's possible. And then you're like, oh God, I have to be able to do that? Man, I do not want to be able to do that. Can't we just complain a lot? Can't we just talk about how we don't deserve that instead? It is terrifying to be ripped apart out of this husk. It becomes necessary to look to others and say, are you my mother? Are you my answer? Are you my medicine? There's a quest for that. And that's how we find ourselves. The road to truth is paved with yellow bricks of hypocrisy. The whole fucking way is you catching your own Hippocratic shadow and going, oh my God, that's me. And what does that take? The entire time it takes you having enough pride in yourself, enough quest for your own reputation, to where you don't want anyone looking at you going, holy fuck, look how Hippocratic that dude is. That's the longest roll of toilet paper stuck to that guy's shoe. Look at him walking through the restaurant like some peacock with a white plumage, you know. The flame does sound better than dementia. Yeah, Icarus makes the people that are grounded feel better. So does syringes. One of the things I really like about this isn't actually even about Amanda, but one of the things I like about Amanda is that there's a lot of internal comes back to you. But I'm not here to, in fact, it probably hurts. It probably hurts that I'm in favor of her. It might actually help her if, if I was to come out against her. You guys need to watch yourself. There's no telling what's going on out there. No telling. Guys, speaking of which, I've got a little surprise. I got a little surprise. It'd be cool if I had a little, yeah, really. I got a little surprise. As you know, my YouTube anniversary. I've been in trouble with YouTube a lot. In fact, some of you know that this is not my normal channel. In fact, you should probably subscribe right now because, we basically have to start over now on this third channel. So I was kind of surprised that this came. But anyway, I opened it and I was so blown away. I wanted you to see it. So this is really touching here. As you know, YouTube gives away an award for having subscribers. There's like a silver YouTube award and a gold YouTube award. And YouTube sent me the cardboard award because I've gotten 7 strikes in 1 year. And so I received the YouTube cardboard award today. It's pretty psyched about that. It's quite an honor. 7 times in 1 year is I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys dropping hints in chat. I don't always know what to say to get a strike around here. But we came together, didn't we? All of us did. We tapped into our technology and we said, we can do this. We stared into the flames of censorship and said, yes, I will burn. And I will do it anyway. I will do it anyway. So, thanks, YouTube. I really means a lot that you would send this to me. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. I report your video at least 3 times per day. Well, thank you, Nate. I appreciate that. It's important. I really appreciate that YouTube never tells me what it was. I think that makes it harder. That's why it's such an honor to have 7 strikes in 1 year. It's pretty impressive. So we need to break in this new channel. So I'm just kidding. Yeah. Well, keep in mind that it's harder to go double digits because every time you have one of those strikes, you're down for 2 weeks. So that, keep in mind that think about it, even getting that many strikes, what does that come to in math? Let's do maths. 7 times 14 is 98 days. So that's 98 days of you not actually. That's 14 weeks, guys. 14 weeks that we've been shut down, and we still were able to get 7 strikes. So, I think, Eric, I'm going to borrow your song. Seven strikes, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. 7 strikes. So we'll keep going. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you being here. I am, so guys, Justin Trudeau flew his mother into a war zone in Ukraine to take her to a U2 concert to celebrate Mother's Day. Man, that dude. It's amazing, right? It's amazing watching how this thing turns and turns and turns. I would like for you guys to consider that the ranchers that are harvesting us, we've discussed this harvesting before, I will keep discussing this thing, but I'd like for you to imagine that the way that the rancher knows which people to collect is by having them wrap themselves around hypocrisy. And that if you, he must really love his mother. You loved your mother so much you flew her into a war zone and took her to an underground bunker and let her listen to Bono go on and on about Nazis defending their territory against the Russians. My God, what a Mother's Day gift. Truly impressive. Truly impressive. And I think Joe Biden went there last week too. So I think that's just hilarious. And Sean Penn, of course, was over there filming a documentary on the very subject before it happened. And the President Zelensky read from a script as he begged for entry into the EU because his country was being attacked on a reality TV show in which he was actually playing the president who got elected president because he was a former reality TV star. And I'd like you just to really just look at, if you're still, as you're believing this, each of these things is a turn, right? Each of these things is a turn, right? God bless Ukraine. Ukraine's not, those aren't Nazi flags. Those are Nazi flags. It's a heritage. And if you're going to call them Nazi flags, then what you're really doing, James, is that you're exercising your white supremacy against the Ukrainian people. No, they're not white. They're sort of like a mauve yellowish kind of color. See? So they're actually, you're the supremacist for doubting their heritage, right? And their heritage is got on a Nazi. It's a different kind of, it's a organic form of Nazism. It's wholesome and it has no carbon footprint. It's some of the cleanest, most natural Nazism that's ever been upon us. And for you to doubt that is quite simply you gurgling on your own ignorance, you silly, silly slut. Yes. That this is how you would wind a circle where the only people, follow me, the only people that would end up following this circle, the only ones, would be a way of filtering and getting out this man, bear, pig, hyena mentality that the ranchers are running this to separate the wheat from the chaff. I said chaff. I think it's hilarious that I say chaff and not chaff. I think it's funny, and you guys should find it funny, not write in the comments, I wish you wouldn't say chaff. It's chaff. It's like, I know, but isn't it funny? Isn't that funny? Okay, maybe it's not. All of these psyops, all of these beliefs, listen to Biden talk. Hey, baby, listen to him talk. That even the art of paying your life force every year to these people, and all the rituals, and all the anal sextons, and all the box cutters, all the corporate shrapnel, all of it is simply there to collect those who believe. And it requires loyalty to believe this stuff. It requires you overcoming your sense of dignity and your sense of pride in order to believe that stuff. It's true. And for you to believe it, you end up wearing masks, you end up hosting sodomy parades through the city. You end up housing you end up letting the very nature of pure propaganda into your home the exact same way you would relinquish your trust into a doctor, the same way you would invite a vampire into your home. All of these things are designed to show you. All of these things. And it's beautiful that you can see it. And it's beautiful that you can watch the roundup that's occurring around you. It becomes distasteful for you to follow, so you don't. And isn't that a way of separating one from the other? Isn't that an attractor over here and a collector over here? We are being sorted. Whether we want to admit it or not, we are being sorted. Yeah, they're literally sodomy parades. Why are we listening to a government that neuters you with sodomy parades? Why are we listening to a government that practices eugenics? Seven strikes in 1 year. Who is your enemy? Your enemy is that which you cannot criticize. You're not allowed to criticize the person who's in charge. Hey, you're not allowed to criticize the person that's in charge. Hey, that's why we gave you a cardboard reward. James is in jail again. You will find the truth because you will have to spend calories to look for it. We'll have to spend calories to dig. And it's never going to be the popular answer. It's not. So can't you just tell me it was aliens, man? Jeez. Can't we just say it was aliens? The pedophile aliens control the White House and have created an electrical grid of mind control all around you. And the only way you can save yourself is to understand the dumps map. And all the secret underground cities where they live. And realize that there is a blue space chicken that's out to save you. And that blue space chicken will accept you into your heart. And all you need to do is open your myocardial wall and accept the blue space chicken into your heart and say, I have been hit by the blue beam. Bok, bok, the blue beam has entered my heart. And I've been redeemed and promised a seat on the holy altar of Mars. And that's where this is going. An entire new universe is going to be created. It's going to be called Mars. And everyone who wants to participate in that universe is going to be born into Mars. And their entire life is going to be run behind this virtual interface. A virtual interface that is so submerging that the person has no way of distinguishing it from reality. And because that system will be installed at such a young age, they will never ever question that it was all a simulation. And they will remain in that world, in Mars. And the only way they will escape that world is to realize that they themselves are living inside a simulation called Mars, run by a corporation that had sentience over every single thing that they did. That it installed itself inside its myocardial wall, and they joined a contract, a subscription to the hive to experience Mars as if it was reality. Why? Because it was more comfortable than Earth. That on Earth there was too much discernment. But if they were to go to Mars, there would be one supplier of their life force, of their oxygen. There would be one supplier of their food paste. there would be one supplier of their rationing of board games. There is free rice on levels 3 and 7. And so you will sign away your blood contract to your DNA to go to Mars because there is free rice on level 3 and level 7. And you will live a Tokyo-esque lifestyle. And your entire biological, somatic interface has a husk around it called virtual reality. And you'd be living inside that machine. And as we are like, oh, man, that is so dumb. I'm so smart. That would never happen to me, dude. I got it going on. I'm decalcifying my pineal gland because I ordered the decalcifier from the pineal gland store. And I have figured it all out. Which is why I will not fall for entering inside a virtual reality called Mars. And you look at this beautiful place, Gaia, and you notice that everything has this rosy tint to it. And it's been this way the whole time. And you could have sworn there was a time when the sun was yellow. You could have sworn there was a time before the machine, before the blue beam, and you take off your Gaia glasses, and it burns like a fucking bitch, like a stingy wasp crawled into your eyes and has hit every single one of your rods and cones with its stinger with a vengeance. Just like, fuck you, I'm light. Here's light. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it's stinging every one of them. And you're like, oh God, I don't like this. And you put back on and you're back in Gaia and you're like, oh, good Lord, this is better. Good Lord, oh, look, there's birds. And you enjoy it here. And there's a place called Venus. Some of you call it Lucifer. Some of you call it Luciferus. But when you're on Venus, it was so noxious. Reality was so bright. Oh, God. Oh, you couldn't take it. You enjoyed phasing into the virtual reality world of Gaia. And you'll be here as long as it's comfortable. And the reason why there's so much vitriol is because reality's not actually here. Reality is so much more painful than what we even choose to see it as right now. It's a completely different state. There are times when you're in your body that you can suddenly feel the ripple of your heartbeat through your skin. There are times when you can swallow, and during the swallow you can hear these electrical connections that are zapping up and down your spine. You tap into this world, this Venus, and it's not rendered in this crispy triangle way. It's a tele-empathy. It's a braille. It's a braille of energy all around you. And it's going to burn. It's going to burn because you've got these glasses on. And there's nothing wrong with the glasses. There's nothing wrong with this world. Right? It's a beautiful world. I love this place. And by the way, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm saying that it was naturally created, probably in the same way that we're going to create Mars. I think it'll be the same way. That's who Nimrod is. That's who Elon is. The Elon. Creating an entire new world built on comfort. Comfort. So, we'll put our glasses on and we will enjoy our YouTube rewards. And we will sing our happy birthday praises to the ones before us who dove into that fire like the brave moths they are. I'm going to go hang some hurricane strips on my deck and prepare some railings. I pressure washed the deck yesterday. I went out there and just stared at it. And turned out that if I used a pressure washer, it was like a lot faster. So I switched to the pressure washer. That was great. It was raining anyway. I want to remind everyone that if you find it raining and you're like, well, I can't do anything outside, you could be pressure washing. You're going to get wet. Why not do it in the rain? Seriously. It's like kind of fun. Just something to consider. So anyway, you guys have a great day, and I appreciate being here. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. And I'm looking forward to continuing the show and getting back to it. I probably do need, though, just a few more days to finish the deck. There's still no railings on the bottom and the lateral. We talked about that. I don't want to bore you too much with but when you build a deck, you want to stop the thisy this, you know? And I got this under control, but the thisy this. And I've got that solution. I need to apply that. I can only apply half of it because I don't have a metal shop in my basement. Looking at you, YouTube. Looking at you. I'd have a metal shop in my basement if it wasn't for this reward, but that's the sanctity that's required of me. So hopefully that's what you like too. So yeah, thanks for being here, guys, and hope you enjoyed it. I if you're still here, then I know you did. Hey, do me a favor if you want, like the video, maybe put a comment down there. If you share the channel, that'd be great because it is kind of a new channel temporarily. Who knows for how long, right? But because the other channel will probably be back on eventually. But yeah, anyway, enjoy, guys. Let's do some horsey horse. Thanks for being here. I'm really glad you're born, Merde Moth, Sarah.
Sun to